Generally speaking, the demand for ammo across the board is relatively low right now when it comes to the civilian market. When it comes to the military, they're having no problem blasting through ammo. But when it comes to the civilian market, generally speaking, demand is fairly low, especially when you compare it to things like 2020. And the reason that demand is so low is because most of us stocked up. Back when we hit the last ammo shortage, most of us stocked up. So we're sitting on a lot of ammo that we still got to go through. But there is a surge in 5 calibers in 2025, at the end of 2024 and going into 2025. And I believe a lot of this revolves around preparing. I believe a lot of it revolves around the election, what people are thinking. And I think people are just getting more practical with their ammo stockpiles, if that makes sense. And stocking up on the ammo that is practical versus something that's just more fun or something that you enjoy, or maybe a Wildcat cartridge or something like that. These are more this is a practical surge, in my opinion, in small arms ammo. So let's just take a quick look at it. So what you have right now is you have ammo companies boosting production. You have increase in primer production. You have increase in gunpowder production. And really, right now, the ammo inventory in January 2025, when I filmed this, the inventory is 10% better when it comes to small arms ammo than it was this time in 2024. So inventory is increased across the board, but there is a surge. When you look at Fortune Business Insights small caliber ammunition market shares, so you're looking at what are people buying? Specifically in the last quarter of 2024 and the first quarter of 2025, what we're seeing a surge in 5 calibers. And the first two, well, I don't think any of these are going to surprise you because they're all practical. The first two are very similar. First one is 5.56, massive surge in 5.56 purchases, up 9.6% than any other time in 2024. 223 is our second one. 223 up 9.3%. So overall, 5.56 and 223, they're not the same, but they're the same. like they're not, but they are. I have a rifle that'll fire both these. So if I'm stocking up for that one rifle, I could use both those. So really, if you put these two together, you have an 18.9% surge in demand for the most common caliber for the AR style rifle. Next is 7.62 by 39. You have a 10.8% increase in ammo for the 7.62 by 39. Well, what do these two rifles have in common? They're both the most purchased rifles in the planet. They're the most used rifles on the planet. Militaries around the world use one or the other of these rifles typically, and Americans have also said these are the rifles of choice. The AR style rifle is by far the most popular sporting rifle out there for Americans, and secondary only to the AK. So what you have is 18.9% increase in demand for AR bullets, and you have a 10.8% increase in demand for 7.62 by 39 bullets. And then fourth would be 22LR, and I don't think this is a surprise to anybody. 22LR is a highly regarded caliber for preppers, for practical shooting, for small game hunting. It's a great survival round. The thing I love about the 22LR is, I could take 1,000 rounds and put them in my pocket, and they don't weigh much compared to a couple hundred rounds of any other ammo. So it's a very practical caliber. There's rifles and handguns that shoot the 22LR. And then finally is the 9mm. Demand for 9mm has increased 8.5%. in the final quarter of 2024 and the first quarter of 2025. And 9mm is by far the most carried round for handguns in the country, by far. It used to be that more people were killed with 22 LR than any other caliber, but that has changed. It is now the 9mm. There are more people killed with 9mm than any other caliber out there. And it's because most people that are concealed carrying, they're concealed carrying a 9mm. If you take 100 people that all have a gun on them, I'm willing to bet somewhere between 75 and 90 of them will have a 9mm on them. So 9mm, massive surge. So if you look at these calibers, because there's not a surge in other calibers, and that's why this is fascinating. It's actually kind of a decrease in demand in almost every caliber out there, except for the 5.56, the 2.23, the 7.62 by 39, the 22 LR, and the 9mm all have a massive surge taking place right now, right around the election and inauguration and that sort of thing. And that's kind of how people are. You know, those things make people kind of think about preps, and those calibers are, in my opinion, the most practical preps a person can make. You know, you're looking at Americans across the board, because, you know, there's 5 billion rounds of ammo sold to civilians in our country every year. So when you have a demand in those calibers, I think it really makes you kind of see what's on the minds of Americans around this country as well. So there you go. Love to know your thoughts on any of this. Definitely put it below. I do want to take a moment and say that most who watch the channel, hey, they're not subscribers. Click that subscribe button. Greatly increases the algorithm and our ability to get these messages out. That link is also below. But the most important part of this channel, we take prayer requests. So please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, love guns.